And before that, I want one of you to tell me. Sirisha will tell me. So, Sirisha, were you there in the previous classes? Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am. Previous class has Java development.
Yeah, in the previous class, we learned about Java. And even before that, I taught you people to write a command in the VS Code terminal. And of which, as a result, we get a package.json file. So, Sirisha, tell me, if you were there in that class when I taught you, which command is that in order to generate the package.json file?
Uh, um,
NPM init y.
Yeah, Vinod. Is it? It is npm init y. So just write that command in your VS Code terminal and make these files as well as folders and install these dependencies. Along with that, install .env. And who is going to tell me why do we need this .env dependency? Rahul, you tell. Yeah, to store environmental variables. All right. And inside the environment Rahul, which environment variable did we store in the previous class? It was our Mongo URI, isn't it? Okay. So make these files as well as folders and then install all these dependencies. And once you are done with creating the files as well as folders and then installing the dependencies, just let me know in the chat box. Yeah, Shrivatsa, tell. Shrivatsa, do you want to say something? Hello.
Well, I was Java developer. I doesn't know the Mango table. Mango table right now. How can
You're not properly
Java?
audible, Shrivatsa.
Yeah, ma'am. I am the Java developer right now.
Okay.
I doesn't know the Mango.
Shrivatsa, there are a lot of disturbances in your audio.
Yeah, okay. I will talk within a 5 minutes.
Shrivatsa, do one thing, write your query in the chat box. Just let me know in the chat box if you people have created the dependency I'm showing to you people. Dependencies as well as files and folders. How many of you have got your Mongo URI? I've told you people now to set up your Mongo URI by watching videos in YouTube. Okay, once he's saying he has done. Okay. What purpose of multi-dependencies? So, so, ch- okay. So we will study the purpose while we write our code, and then only I'll explain you how does the multi work. Okay. So let's proceed with our code. So at first, what thing am I going to write inside my db.js? I have taught you people about this in the previous classes as well. Some of you open your mic and tell me what is the like what exact code am I going to write inside the db.js?
To connect the database.
Okay, to connect the database with the node.js, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And tell me what are those two keywords that I usually mention or we may or may not mention while connecting the database. At first, what I will do, I will import the mongoose dependency, right? For that, I'll write mongoose is equal to, and then I will write, I hope I don't need to explain you these things that I am writing over here because I have already explained these things in the previous classes. Tell me what is the very first parameter that I have to mention inside the connect method.
Process.
Mongo URI.
All right, Mongo URI. And if our Mongo URI is present inside our .env file, so then we will write process .env dot Mongo URI. And here comes a couple of keywords. Tell me what are they?
Use a new URL parser, true, and use a topology,
Use
unified
unified
topology.
topology. Oh, all right. And if this gets connected, then we will print. And then if any error occurs, we will write. And this one is optional. That is process dot exit. Optional. You can mention it or else you cannot mention it. It will not make any difference. So this is what our mongoose db.js. Now, are you people having any kind of doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So tell me, I have not written the like I have not exported this thing. Now we mentioned the export statement over here. So will it work?
Yes, ma'am, because you have to already export that module.
Okay, where did I export it?
Uh,
In which
before
line?
creating before creating a async function, line number 3.
Okay, all right. Who is answering right now?
Me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And here I'll save it. And then what schemas, that is inside the course.js as well as inside the user.js, we have to mention our MongoDB schema. That is the required fields. I want my user to give the values for that required fields. I'm going to mention those fields over here. So what is the first thing that I have to do? Tell me. Come on, do tell.
Import mongoose dependency, and then after that creating a schema.
Okay. So tell me, what kind of data will be stored in this materials? Any guesses for that?
List
Can you please repeat?
listed it.
Not exactly.
Array.
Yeah, array will get stored. So here basically what I have done is I have provided four fields, that is title and then description, then materials, as well as so title will be the string, description is also string, and material will be the array of strings. Now coming on to the enrolled users. So enrolled users is also the kind of array data structure. The data will get stored in the form of an array. And here I have written a word ref. Why have I written over here? Because it will store the ID. And what will be that ID? Whichever entry we are going to make inside this user.js, whichever schema we are defining, it must be having some kind of ID. Some ID is given to that inside the MongoDB compass. You might have seen, right? Reply with a yes or no.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what? So what this enrolled user will hold? This enrolled user will hold the object ID of the particular user. Say for example, I am putting the user as Reshma, right? So that Reshma will have certain kind of object ID assigned to it by Mongo Compass.
I mean,
So
it's
that
similar.
ID, yes,
It's similar to primary key, ma'am.
yeah. So that object ID will get stored in the form inside this enrolled users. Once we will run the code, then you will be able to understand. That's why I have written over here that type will be types and then object ID. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now here I'll export the module. So here I have defined my course schema. And now coming on to the user schema, I'll do the same thing.
Ma'am, I have a doubt there. Hello?
Can you please repeat your question?
Ma'am, in the course section that you have just used the type, right? For the enrolled users. There the enrolled users with the full data will be saved or only the numbers of how much users are added, that much will save it.
That will show you in this way. Let me show you just a second. It will store the array over there. It will write array 1, that kind of the number of data it will show over there.
No, ma'am, it will show the complete users or only the numbers, how much students are enrolled in it.
Only the object ID will get displayed. Let me show you it. See, inside the enrolled users, I have already provided the user, right? User ID as well as course ID. See, here inside the users, I'm having the ID of John, right? Object ID of John. So this object ID and then this course ID are saved inside this enrolled users.
Okay.
See, object ID. And this is the material and this is the object ID. Are you being able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Don't worry, we'll once we make the API, we will test it as well.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
So here we are creating our user schema, and I will ask the user for his name, email, as well as I will ask the user for his profile pic. So for that, const user schema is equal to new mongoose dot schema. So till here, what we have done, we have created schema for both the databases, that is user database and then course database. And we have connected our MongoDB to the Node.js. Now coming on to the main logic of our code. we will move to the controllers. And always remember that the logic of the API lies usually inside the controllers folder. So for the course, what I will do, I'll import something. That is, I'll import the schema. Tell me which schema from the model I'll import. Any guesses?
Course.
Course schema.
schema, ma'am.
Yeah, great. So here, what I'll do, I'll create a course. Here, I'll ask the user for a couple of things. So tell me what can be the couple of detail about the course I can ask. I can ask the user about the title of the course, and then I can also ask the user about the description of the course. And the user will provide me it, right? So how will the user is going to provide me? The user will provide me using the postman, right? And where is the user going to tell me about the values of these variables?
In the body.
Request body, ma'am.
In the body. So what we will do, we will write request dot body, isn't it? And the second thing is, so what am I doing over here? I'm taking the file from the user. Whichever file will be provided by the user, I'm taking that. And then what am I doing? Map function is used to manipulate the data in whichever way we want it. Okay. So it will take the file from the user, and then it will convert it into a form of the path, because the file path is always necessary whenever we are dealing with the whenever we are dealing with some kind of file such as images, PDFs, etc. things. Is equal to. Then here we will create a new course. Course with title, description as well as material.
Data where will get saved?
Can you please repeat your question?
Data where get saved? Where will
The
get saved?
data will get okay. This entire data will get stored inside your MongoDB Compass. I showed you just a few seconds
Okay, ma'am.
before, right?
Wait, ma'am. Before class, we're writing request.params, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
That will store the parameters. Now, in this system, where will store data?
I'm not being able to get your point here. Can you please explain?
Ma'am, before class, we're writing param request.param parameters, right?
Yeah.
Data will store that request.parameters, right?
Yeah.
Now here data where will store, ma'am? The request.file.map, right?
See, you can switch off your mic. In the previous class, why were we writing request.params? Because we were taking the data, say for example, inside the parameter, let me show you. Assume this entire window as your Postman application, right? And then what I was doing, I was going to the search bar over here, and then I was providing any kind of like HTTP localhost 5000, and then whichever parameter I want to write, like API and all those things, isn't it? So for that, I was providing the input inside this URL as a parameter. So for that purpose, we were writing the parameter. So it was not getting stored anywhere. It is something which was being given to us by MongoDB. But here the case is different. Here what we are doing, this entire map file is not getting stored anywhere. Are you getting my point? We are using this material, this entire file path will get stored inside this material variable, right? And here we are going to mention that only. We have to save this title and then description as well as the material. And from where are we getting the material? We are getting the material from here, that is request.files.map, and then the file is getting converted to file path, and then we are providing the entire material to this course variable. Now are you being able to understand
Yeah, ma'am.
how the scenarios are different?
Yeah, ma'am, I understand. Total data is assigned to course
Yeah,
material, right, ma'am?
and this course is imported from this model.
Yeah, ma'am. Data assigned to materials.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, after creating a new thing, what is the very most common thing that we do? After creating the new user, what did we do in the previous class? We saved that user, right? I want a response from the other side.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Save, ma'am.
Okay. So we saved the new user. So here, can any of you switch off your mic? I'm getting to hear my voice again. So after creating a new course, we will save that as well. For that, I'll write await course dot save. And if any error occurs, dot status 500 dot JSON message will be error. Let me make it error. And after creating the course, we should provide the user with some kind of message now that your course has been created or a new course created, that kind of message. And the status code should be 201 with a JSON message. Course created successfully. And then we'll provide the user with the course details. So after creating the course, what we will do, we will enroll the user inside that particular course. So here we will create the API for enrolling the user in a particular course. Exports dot enroll user is equal to async, and then And in order to enroll the user inside a course, I'll ask the user for the user ID. At first, I'll ask him for the course ID, comma, user ID. And here I will check if the course ID is already present inside the database. For that, I will use find by ID. And if not, is anyone able to understand what am I checking over here? None?
Yes, ma'am. You're checking whether the course ID is already in the database.
Yeah, we are checking that. Please switch off your mic at first.
Ma'am, what you write after the enrolled user? Is
It
it not?
includes. Yeah, it is. See, what we are checking over here is that inside the course we are having enrolled users, right? See, inside this course we are having this enrolled users, right? Inside this, what we are storing? We are storing the user ID, right? And the reference we are taking here is from this user. So what is getting basically stored over there? It is storing the user ID, right? See, we have written over here.
Yes, ma'am.
So inside this controller, we are checking if not course.enrolls.users includes user ID. If the user ID, which is provided by the user inside the body in order to check the API, that particular user ID does not exist inside the enrolled users array of the course model. Now, did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we are checking the same thing. And if this condition is true, then course dot enrolled users dot. So now are you able to understand why were we being able to see the user ID inside that enrolled users when I showed you people the database?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after that, we will write rest.json and we'll provide the user with a message. User enrolled in course. And then we will provide the user with the details of the course. Otherwise, if any error occurs, so these are the couple of things that I have created These are the APIs actually, that is the enroll user and then create course API that I have created in order to create a course as well as enroll a user inside that particular course. And here I will save it. Now I will go to the user controller.js, and inside the user controller.js, what are the couple of functions that I am going to perform? I will take the profile picture of the user and I'll store it inside the folder, which will get automatically created when I will provide the profile picture of the user. So how will it get created automatically? Let's see. So at first what I will do, I'll go over here and I'll write const user is equal to, this time which model am I going to import?
User.
Yeah. So this is the API in order to upload the picture. And here again, I'll ask the user for his name and email, as I have mentioned inside the model. And while testing the API, you will be able to know why have I written request.body for this name and email, and profile pic, and for profile pic I have written request file and path. And it's very evident. If you think a little bit, you will be able to understand. And in order to create a new user, tell me what keyword should I mention? In order to create something new, what keyword do we use?
New.
Followed by?
User.
Yeah. And user is our model.
Yeah, ma'am.
Email.
And after creating something new, what do we do?
Save.
Hey,
Yeah.
Save. Await dot save.
You are getting all these things now. What am I doing and why am I writing these things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here I have created the API for uploading the profile picture of the user. And second thing, what am I for what I will write the API for which function in order to get the user profile picture. Here I have created a new picture, a new user, and here I will get the user profile with picture. See here, I'll be taking the ID, right? ID from the user. So for that, what should I write? I have to provide the ID inside the URL. So for that, what should I write? Can you please repeat?
Request.body.
No, I told you na. I have to mention the particular ID inside the URL.
Request at parent.id.
Grams.
Exactly. So from this message, you might have got the idea like what it is exactly doing. It is checking whether the user is existing inside or not. If the user is not present over there, then it will provide the error that is user not found. And if the user exists, then it will provide the details of the user.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, while you are responding the JSON file with the user ID, so we don't need to create an you don't need to mention on an object with user to get on a database.
I'm not being able to understand your question.
Ma'am, basically I'm just to say in the line of 23 response.json file you have to get the user's detail as it is written here. So to get the data into the database, you just don't need to create a object and then after that inside to write the user. Because
So what exactly do you want? You want to get all the data inside the database, or you want your data to be displayed in your Postman console?
Yeah, ma'am. Postman console.
So inside for getting the data inside the Postman console in the form of JSON, we write this entire thing, that is respond the user in a JSON format about the user data. in the Postman console. That means,
We are getting response, right? That's all.
yeah, we are getting the response that we usually do inside the Postman. You will get the entire thing over here. See, I have mentioned course ID and user ID. So if I run this server using node1 server.js, I will get the entire data over here. I being able to understand now.
Yes, ma'am.
You will get it more clear if we test the API. We are left with 10 more minutes. Let me write the code for this middleware, and let me explain you people this code, and then we will have to write the codes for course route, user routes, and then server routes. So I hope and I think we will not be able to test the API today. I will and you can test the API at your own homes, right? And I will show it tomorrow by testing the APIs, because we are running lack of time. So inside the upload.js, what we will do, we will import our entire multer dependency as well as path dependency. Let me check if it present over here. Yeah, multer is present. So inside this, I also have to install npm install path. Okay, path is also there. Const multer is equal to So somebody was asking me in the very beginning of the class that, ma'am, why do we use this multer? So this multer thing is used to store some kind of data. And what is that kind of data? That data which is a kind of file, and that is not a kind of text, right? So we cannot provide our picture as a text, isn't it? So for that, we have to provide our picture in the form of a file. So we have to use this multer thing in order to provide the server as with our data as the input. So here I have written multer.disk storage. So instead of storing our data inside the RAM, what the multer will do? The multer will store our data in the disk storage. As all of us know that RAM is a temporary memory, so it will store our data for a temporary time, right? But if we store our but here what we are doing, we are storing our data inside the disk storage. So for that, we have to write multer.disk storage, and here a couple of keywords are there. That is, we have to mention the destination where the file will get stored. That is, let me create the destination as a folder, that is uploads. And what are we storing? We are storing our profile picture. So this means that when we will run this server, a folder with uploads name will get created, and then inside that folder, another folder that is profile pics will get created, and the profile pic that as user we will provide to the server will get stored inside this profile pic folder, which is present inside this uploads. Getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So here we have done with our destination. Another thing that we have to mention is our file path or file name. And the file name will be So always remember that this CB function will have null as its first parameter, and after that we will mention the file name. And you might have seen that whenever we'll go to the file explorer and go to our documents. Here it's see here we are also getting the date as well as time in order to make our file name make more unique, right? Copy as path. See, we are getting software ppt.pptx because it is the name of this is software ppt. But here, what is the need of providing the date as well as time? The need of this date as well as time is that what if I want to make another software ppt? Over there, the date and time will be different, right? So the date and time are mentioned in order to make our file names very unique, even if the file names are same. So for that purpose, what we have to do, we have to write profile followed by an underscore, profile underscore followed by a dollar sign. Inside that dollar, I'll write date dot now and another dollar. We will store the path dot ext name, and this ext name denotes what? The extension of the file. See, if say for example we are providing an excel file as the input, right? So what is the extension name of the excel file?
XML.
Dot xlsx, right? So that extension will get stored inside that file dot original name. So this was for storing our profile picture. Now we are storing another thing as well, that is our course material. So for that, I'll take the same thing. Inside the uploads folder, along with the profile page, another folder will get created, that is course materials. And the prefix for this will be material. Yeah, that's it. So here we have mentioned the proper destination as well as file name for our respective files. Now, const for the course material. Right. Let's save it. Now we will move to our routes, where we will create different routes for our APIs. So for the user routes, we'll go over here and we will write another variable with router is equal to. Here we will use the middleware of Express, that is router. And we will mention a couple of methods, that is router dot post with the API upload, and then single. And this single method is used in order to provide only to the provided input. What if we can and similarly, after posting the profile pic, we can also get it as well. And how can we get it? We will get it by the provided ID by Mongo Compose. And we have to use the function name, that is get user profile. That will get executed when this API endpoint will be sent along with the method, that is get. And finally, we have to export it. So, are there any doubts still here?
No, ma'am.
So this will not work as of now because we have not mentioned anything inside the server.js. As all of you know that server.js is the entry point of our code. We are left a couple of things, that is course route as well as server.js. which we can write. And if there are no any doubts, then you people can leave the meeting because it's already 9:06.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And I'll request the team to provide you people with the remaining code, and I will show you people the entire output of the APIs into tomorrow's